Start again. Thank you. Welcome everyone to the Tampa Historic Streetcar Board of Directors meeting, Wednesday, April 20th, 2022 at 2:30 p.m. My name is Michael English. I'm the President and Chair of the Tampa Historic Streetcar Board of Directors. Welcome to the April 20th, 2022 regular Board of Directors meeting. This format is hybrid. The quorum is physically present at the Hart Administrative Offices, and the rest of the board members are participating via communication media technology. I understand Mr. Hardy will not be here today. I'd like to call the meeting to order and pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The first item on our agenda is public input, 3 minutes per speaker. Is there anyone available or interested in speaking today?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Mike, I can hardly hear you.
Is that better, David?
Yes,
Okay, good. The first item on our agenda is the next item on our agenda is the election of officers. We typically open the floor for discussion and then entertain nominations. Does anyone have any comments or care to make any nominations?
I motion to keep the officers in their current positions.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
It's a quick question, Mr. Chair. How long have you been in the chairman's position?
This is our 20th year. Mr. Mechanic was chairman for 8 years, so I've been the chairman all the other years.
I'm sorry?
I've been the chairman otherwise. From the beginning, there was a gap for Mr. Mechanic was chair, and then I've been chair since. So 20 minus 8, I guess 12 years. Any other comments or discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Thank you all. I appreciate the vote of confidence.
It is very hard to hear.
I'm sorry. Oh, hey, Ms. Williams, I'm sorry, your question?
Yes, it's very difficult to hear you.
I can't fix this. I have the microphone close to my voice. Is that
Much better, thank you.
all right? I'll be more careful.
Yeah, you can't. That's all.
I don't know what else to do. So I'll just try and
Finally, take toward the microphone.
all right, I sure will. And the next item on our agenda is approval of minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Thank you. The next item is Resolution R 2022-0401, accepting the final fiscal year 2021 audited Tampa Historic Streetcar financial statements. We were honored today to have Leo Hofstetter here. He's the Chief Accountant of the City of Tampa. Mr. Hofstetter, I understand you have 2 words.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Good to see you again. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Lee Hofstetler. I'm the city's chief accountant. And as you may or may not know, the city of Tampa keeps the books for the streetcar. And so we have the audit finished. It's a little late this year compared to other years. We had a little late start getting the auditors on board because of the state law change. But other than that, everything looks status quo to me. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them to the best of my ability.
Any questions of Mr. Hofstetter? If If not, Lee, yes, please.
I have a question.
Yeah, I'm sorry, is this a separate audit, or is this part of the City of Tampa's audit?
This is a separate audit.
Separate audit, is this a standalone, or will this be incorporated into HART documentation?
It is a standalone for the streetcar, but the city of Tampa does treat it as a component unit in our statements.
In your statements,
Not
okay.
in the hard statements.
Okay,
In the city statements.
okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Lee. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Good to see you all. Thank you.
Legal and legislative reports, Mr. Matthews.
President English, it's an,
You might introduce yourself, Clay.
Oh, sure. My name's Clay Matthews. I'm a law partner with David Smoker, General Counsel for THS, and I'm filling in for him today.
Kind of point of order. Can you hold on just a second? I think that we need to go back and accept the audit, correct?
Yes, we do.
I'll make the motion to accept the audit.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Now, a
Second.
We have a second. My apologies. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
Aye.
Thank you. And you were saying?
Sure, we did skip number 6, Streetcar System Performance Report. Do we want to stick with that, or?
Yeah, I just wanted you to introduce yourself and
Oh, okay. Well then, hi everyone. My name's Clay Matthews. I'm partners with David Smoker. I'm filling in for him today. He's out at a conference. And in terms of any reports, the only item I have is to remind Chairman English to do the TPO Technical Advisory Committee appointments. I've been encouraged by Mrs. Gage to do that.
oh, good point. Currently, I am the representative because honestly, no one else wants to do it. The TPO is the Technical Advisory Committee to the Metropolitan Planning Organization. I think it has a different name now, Transportation Planning Organization, the MPO. And so I sit with people from all of the local governments and committees and things, and we review actions and reports and summaries that the MPO will see after we've made a recommendation and the Citizens Advisory Committee has made its recommendation. So Cal Hardy is my alternate, and if no one's interested in doing it, I'll be happy to continue. So may I have a motion, unless someone wants to volunteer, may I have a motion to that effect?
I motion to approve.
Thank you. We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you for continuing to fill that role.
Well, you know, it doesn't always affect the streetcar, but it is very interesting, and I spent a lot of years on the Planning Commission and on the MPO, so it's interesting to me. And if I hear anything that I feel like you all need to hear, it's my job to come back and tell you. And I don't think anything's really come up about the streetcar in the past year or so. Okay, so the chair's report is
Chair,
next.
before we move on from item number 6, I had a question for, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I blew
So-
through. Yeah. Streetcar performance report?
Good afternoon, President English, Ms. LeGrand, members of the board. Brian Allen, Director of Streetcar Operations. I have 2 months of reports to give you today. For February, our ridership was 88,563, with 97 of those being ADA boardings. We had 27 and a quarter missed trips. The missed trips were due to mechanical issues, a shortage of operators, and an accident on February 3rd, which I'll get to in a second. We had 21 reported late departures. On-time performance was 99.45%. And going back to our accidents, February 3rd, we had a car accident, for the streetcar at 8th Avenue and 17th. On February 19th, we had an accident at York Street where we hit a car. And on the 23rd, we had an accident at Channelside and 2nd Avenue, also where a car ran a stop sign in front of us. 2 of these, the driver was cited, the third one wasn't because basically it took the police a long time to get there and they used their own judgment not to cite the person involved in the accident. And for February, we did not provide any extra service. We just provided our regular service for that month. And for the month of March, ridership, we haven't really kept this a secret. It was 107,956, the best month in the system's history. Also of that, kind of another record, we had 13688 boardings that month. So that was also a very good number. Would like the board to know that we are currently trending this fiscal year for 1 million riders. So we're past that. We just have to average 78,000 a month for the next 6 months. For March, we had 47 reported missed trips. This was because of a shortage of operators, which was 29.5 trips, mechanical issues, and then an accident on March 7th where we struck a car at the main entrance to the Florida Aquarium. We had 16 reported late departures for an on-time performance of 99.62%. For the month of March, these were primarily due to heavy ridership, which is usually the late departures are kind of a scattering of everything, but this was very specific. And finally, we did not provide any extra service in March. And system updates, we hired one operator who completed training in early April. We are currently looking to hire 3 more and are in the interview process. That concludes my report. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Ms. Aaron?
It's so ecstatic to hear about the March ridership increase. Can you determine where that kind of came from, whether it was, based on events or convention traffic starting to pick up again, or is there anything that you're attributing it to besides?
Spring break.
Okay.
The Final Four, of course, being in town, and we did have quite a few conventions. We saw ridership, especially for some of the conventions. We had heavy ridership coming out of Ybor early in the mornings, which was pretty unusual for us. Mm-hmm. But we were busy throughout the month, throughout the days. We were running full cars a lot of times. On times we typically wouldn't be.
That's wonderful. And I imagine you're working very closely with the convention center to know what events they have coming up. It's kind of part of your protocol.
Our marketing department sends us a list of what's coming down.
Perfect, thanks.
Mr. Johnson?
I just wanted to quickly congratulate you on those ridership numbers. I know that we've gotten a lot of good press on those, so I'll thank you to you and your team, because even with the events coming back, without a good reputation, good ability to be on time, move everybody where we got to move them, that's not going to happen. So thank you for everything you and your team are doing, and look forward to seeing even higher numbers in the coming months now that the events are popping back up again.
Thank you. Yes, it's the team that does the bulk of it. We have good staff downstairs.
Well, really, congratulations. It's a lot of hard work, and it's very impressive. When you imagine that 3 or 4 years ago, before we were able to make changes, we carried a total of 350,000 people in a year. And now we're carrying 1 million people a month, which is wonderful. So thank you very much. We really appreciate your efforts and your staff.
President English, if I may.
Yeah, please.
I'd also like to add, Mr. Allen and his team has been doing an excellent job, and he did point out the number of wheelchairs that we had on the streetcars. And if you compare February to March with our increase in ridership and the increase in wheelchair access, our on-time performance didn't suffer. So that's a testament to our folks and his team specifically being focused on making sure the experience for those who need additional assistance as well as those who do not is the same experience. And we've talked about this before, someone who's in a wheelchair who needs some additional assistance shouldn't feel like they're a burden to the overall system, because it's taking time to help them get on board, and we've worked to make sure that we do the best that we can to make it a great experience. So thank you for that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
President English, I have a question. I'd like to comment, please.
Yes, please.
I also like to echo the sentiments of the ridership. It's phenomenal looking at the on-time departures and late trips and so forth. This is just wonderful news. You commented on the events and that culminated to getting this number of passengers. Is there tracking that tells you over where that we can keep a record of that indicates the event, so that as we go forward, we can look at historicals and identify the types of events that have taken place over time, and so we could potentially forecast the number of riders, the ridership across the board. I know you mentioned 78,000 would take place a month in order to hit the million mark, but is there a way that we could show the number of events and how that just continues to add to the ridership, and we can forecast that along the way by maintaining that log going along the way?
I'm sure we could put something like that together along with our marketing department. I typically track these by ridership, but we could definitely correlate it to things that are going on. I also want to add that March is typically a very good month, and this is very typical for March. Actually, before the pandemic, we were trending towards that number anyway, so we would have potentially hit that number if the pandemic hadn't hit for March. So.
I do think it's, Mr. President English, continue.
I'm sorry.
She asked if she could continue.
Yeah.
Oh, continue. Thank you, Ms. Williams.
No, she asked if she could continue. She had another question.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. I think from a marketing standpoint, looking at the ridership, and then if we were able to say there's 1,000 events that we were able to accommodate through the streetcar, I think that just positions and bolsters the number of opportunities we have, and can further culminate the value and how profound the streetcar is as a whole. So I was just wanting to comment on that and how we could, add to that talk track, and as we talk more about the streetcar and continue to put that as an opportunity for us to bring forward at our heart board and keep people talking about what is a phenomenal opportunity for us, and where we're going to and hopefully exceed 1 million by the end of the year, and the reason why that's going to happen. Thank you, Mr. English.
Oh, well spoken. Thank you so much. Well, this kind of news is really, really important, of course, with the referendum coming up. So, thank you. Yeah, Dave.
You mentioned there was an accident in March, but you didn't mention whether the driver was cited, the car driver, that is, was cited or not.
Yes, in that accident, the driver was cited for failure to yield and was ticketed for having expired registration.
Okay, thank you. I have one other question. With our ridership being so high, I mean, have you thought about what our maximum capacity would be and what we would do if the number actually increased from what it was last month? Last month.
Yes, my manager and I are looking at that and working on a couple scenarios as to what would require to continue to increase ridership.
What kind of things would that involve?
It would. Our option to increase ridership is to put an additional car out there.
Which means operators, then, right?
Correct. A car and operators.
And we're experiencing some difficulty, I understand, in hiring operators. Is that right?
We currently are 3 positions open. So.
Mm-hmm. So what is happening with that? I'm sorry to keep on asking so many questions, but
we are actually we spent the morning interviewing today, so hopefully we'll get good candidates and we can get them in class here the second week of March or May.
So you're not lacking people applying to these positions, then? Would that be correct, or?
We could have a better response than what we have.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I don't know what we do about it, but
Mr. Johnson?
thank you.
Thanks, David. Mr.
I guess it'd
Johnson?
be more of a question for I don't know, between Ms. LeGrand or you, as far, I mean, if it ever ran into a capacity issue, I imagine that, we would be able to work our current vehicles, with HART to be able to help supplement in some way, because I can't imagine that this would be a daily thing where we would have a capacity issue. It would just be something where, our folks would be able to take a look at it, may not be necessarily a streetcar, but we could possibly put, I don't want to say a bus or, some other type of vehicle to be able to help with the crunch, right?
Right.
Okay.
And-
Sure that
and
all-
If I may respond, as Mr. Allen said, we do have additional vehicles that we could put into the system when we got to a point where we needed to add capacity. So we're not at a point right now where we feel like we don't have enough streetcar vehicles that we could add. And then with the class that's about to start in May, we're anticipating that we should have those folks up and ready by the time. And then also, one point of clarity, even though we see this increased ridership, it's usually in certain blocks of the time period. So we will adjust our manpower to ensure that we have the appropriate coverage as we anticipate, if there's a big event, which we do have a list for marketing on when those major events are going to come in town.
And that's kind of where I was getting at, is I figured that we have the kind of the infrastructure there, and we certainly know logistics, so we'd be able to do that. And with all the folks that you have, Ms. LeGrand, I'm sure that you'd be able to forecast that in a way to make sure that no one's going to be disappointed.
Right. Mr. Allen and his team, they are professionals at doing this, so they pretty much look at where the crunch periods are going to be, they make those adjustments, and they keep the flow going.
Mr. Schussler?
Yes, thank you. How many total cars do we have?
We have 8 of the replica cars and the open car.
So 9 total.
Yeah.
And what's the maximum capacity per vehicle or per car, roughly?
You can get 100 people on them.
Okay, thank you.
It's crowded, but you can do it. Thank you. Any other questions? You're facing the same problems that a lot of people are, I'm sure it's true everywhere. It's hard to find employees right now, and I'm not quite sure why. But you're doing a heck of a job, particularly given the fact that you're often shorthanded and have cars being repaired and that kind of thing. So again, we really appreciate your efforts a lot, Brian.
Well, thank you, but I also want to give credit to my dedicated staff. I mean,
Oh, definitely.
They're a very good group of people, and we should be honored to have them working for us.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The chair's report is next, and I really don't have anything to report. So let us move to the CEO's report. Ms. LeGrand.
Yes, so again, good afternoon, everyone. I have talked about this before, so I'm going to bring it up because this is the last week to get the discount in registration. So the Community Streetcar Coalition, their annual conference is May 16th through the 18th, and it's in Wisconsin. This year, the cost for attendance for members is $100 per person, and we're members because HART is a member. And then for non-members, it's $300 per person. And I'm just going to quickly give you a highlight of the agenda. So it starts on May 16th, which is a Monday. And on Monday, mostly the agenda, there's a student session. So, oh my, I just noticed that my name is there. Okay, so there's a student session from 3 to 4:30, and the university students will be there, and there's a forum to talk about streetcar and the value. Tuesday, and then the open reception is also on Monday. Tuesday, May 17th, what you have on the agenda is the full funding grant agreement pipeline. So those are the projects that have already been approved by the Federal Transit Administration for funding, and how to set expectations expectations and sustain momentum. So that's a topic that they're going to discuss. The keynote luncheon, the speakers will be the mayor of Milwaukee. There'll also be Congresswoman Gwen Moore from Wisconsin, 4th District, and then Congressman Earl Blumenauer from Oregon, 3rd District, as well as the FTA Administrator Nuria Fernandez. Then there'll be a meeting or a conversation on the state of good repair and asset management, and then an update on the latest technology for our streetcars. And then the last session of the day is, so you want to build a streetcar system, voices of experience in engineering and construction. So that's all on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, which is the last day of the conference, the first topic is Build America, Buy America, New Ways to Fund Streetcar and Rules to Follow. The next session is Transit Narrative in Changing Media Landscape, Advertising, Sponsorships, Branding, and Social Media. There's a session on streetcar equity planning, safety, and ridership, and then economic development associated with streetcar. So if anyone is interested in attending, and if you need some assistance from the HART staff, let us know if you'd like to go, and at a minimum, we can go on ahead and pay the registration so that we can get the discounted rate and also secure a hotel room before they get rid of the block. So just wanted to give you an update again on the Community Streetcar Coalition Conference.
It sounds exciting. It's not available by Zoom, I assume?
I can inquire if there is a Zoom option. So that is something that I will inquire, and I'll send an email out so everyone knows the answer.
Yeah, I would be very interested, but I'm not available to go to Wisconsin. Should be beautiful up there, and chilly, but beautiful.
Yeah, check and see.
Same boat. I would also be interested if there was an opportunity to join virtually.
Okay, I will find out and get that out to everybody today.
Thank you.
That's it for me.
Thank you very much. Vector Media Sales Activity Update. Looks like we have Lori Gage on the line. Lori, hello. How you doing?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
We're good.
It's nice to see you all again.
It is indeed. So how are we doing?
I'm Lori Gage. It's good. I'm Lori Gage. I'm the market manager with Vector Media and here in Tampa. And are you going to show the pages of this report for me to talk through, or I'll just kind of chop through the pages that I believe it's 44 through 47. Okay, thank you very much. So new business in February included Tito's displays at the Greco station and Brooks Law Firm on one of the streetcars. And then this mentions our quarterly guarantee, the $57,500 that we pay quarterly to HART now. And we can go on to the next page. And then new business in March. The only reason Cigar City is included here is they have been up for a year and they needed to rewrap the car. We don't let the cars keep vinyl for more than 1 year. So you could sort of consider that new revenue. But they continued, and they will continue through the end of 2023, I believe, or the beginning of 2023 at least. They're contracted through. So our existing advertisers include Anheuser-Busch, Miller Coors, the Lightning. The Lightning did extend an additional month, and depending upon how we're playing, they may continue to extend that. Tampa General Hospital, Cigar City, those are all the external advertisers. New business, Brooks Law, which I mentioned just started in February. Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey wrapped a portion of a car, and that started the beginning of April. The Rays are going to be coming to Greco Station in the middle of May 20th. NDIA, which is an organization that comes back yearly. It's the National Defense Industrial Association. They come back for something at the convention center, and so they will be posting in April. And then some other business that is, we've been in discussion with, includes Red Bull, who we've seen before, Compass Realty, Water Street Tampa, ReliaQuest, which is a computer security service, WTMP Radio, Zoo Tampa, and Coca-Cola.
Wow.
The business is very brisk
Nice
in
pipeline.
advertising.
No, it's great. Any questions?
I was just curious as to what the raise are planning for Greco Station. Is that something that's already been designed?
Yes, we're going to do something new. We're going to do a banner over the entrance and exits, over the tracks, if you will. And then they're going to be wrapping all of the columns, all of the concrete columns, so they're kind of branding that station. And they're also doing some buses in addition to that.
Any other questions? That's a great report, Ms. Gage. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
The next item on our agenda are compliance reports, the marketing report for February and for March, as well as the city's financial statements ending January 2022 and February 2022. Are there any questions? Hearing none, is there any old business? Hearing none, is there any new business? That concludes our regular business for today. Are there any additional comments by board members? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.